Yo, what's up guys? In this video, we're going to go over the basics of playing the A side on Anubis. I'm going to talk about how you should be positioning yourself throughout the round and some tricks that'll help your team. So to start off for the early round, we first need to understand how the Ts are going to approach their early A control. In most T defaults, you'll see one Lurk come over here towards the A side of the map. Typically what he'll do is just hold for this A main push. If they've got a really good spawn, they can beat you across. So if you're going for an Awping, be ready for anybody to already be across. Typically, you'll see the T-side player come and play an angle like this, just behind the box, holding that headshot angle, or they'll play a bit closer. One of the most common ones I see is right here in this corner, just holding for the push out or holding for any aggression A main. So that's generally what the T-side player is doing in the early round. More towards the mid round, he'll come and try to prod A main a little bit, maybe throw a little bit of util just to make the A player a bit worried and try to bring that mid rotate over. But generally, he's going to be playing pretty far back here and pretty safe, just holding for any A main aggression. So now that we understand how the T side is going to approach their early round towards A, we can talk about how you as a CT want to play the A site. To start, I'm going to show you guys 3 different early setups that you can run on your early round. The easiest one, and my personal favorite, is just running around here, coming towards A main at the very beginning, and throwing a molly off the top right of this gate. You just want to running left click through that. That's going to land in the doorway, and it's going to stop any A rush or anybody trying to take this early control. And if they do come there, you will hear them either extinguish the molly or taking it, so you can fall back to site easily. This next setup is designed to punish any Awper holding this E-box angle, since it's super common for T-sides to put a player here just holding the peak from E-box. So as you're running to A, you want to get off an early molly towards A main just by coming to this corner here, find this dot right under the window, so come down here, the dot in the center of this brick, and then do a left right click jump throw. That molly's going to come outside of A main and spread pretty far, stopping any Ts from pushing through. Then after that, what you can do is you can nade this Awper by coming up to the top of the stairs here. Find this dot on the wall here right above this brick. Aim a little bit to the right of it, so kind of where this gap is, just off to the right of it. Then you want to run forward and left click jump throw once you reach the bottom of the brick. This molly is going to come out and land right on top of the T, hitting him from anywhere between 30 to 40 damage, and he'll lose a lot of health from that. After that nade, you're going to have a few seconds left on the molly, so you can try to play a little bit risky and come up towards pillar, or you can play a little bit safer and stay back towards site. And for the last start round that you can do, you can come over here with your molly and just jiggle A main kind of like this. So you'll be jiggling for anybody to peek out kind of towards this pillar area. And you just sit right here and jiggle. Once you see somebody, you can throw your molly and fall back towards site. That's a really good setup if you don't have much util, or you just want to hold on to it in the late round and you know that the Ts aren't coming A main early. A bonus nade that you can throw if you know the T-side Lurk likes to play in this corner here is you get into this corner right here against the pillar and this tarp. Just kind of into this corner, find the left side of this line here, and then just do a standard jump throw. That's going to bounce down and chunk him for around 30 health. Before we move into the mid round, I want to talk about aggressing out of A main. If you want to get a good push out of A main and just run out early, you can aim at the bottom right of this window and jump throw a flash off this wall. That's going to come and land over this arch and won't blind you at all. And it's going to full blind any Ts playing outside of here. You see it lands up here. It'll blind any Ts playing out. You just need to be careful because the Ts could be close if they have a really good spawn. Now, let's move on to the mid round. So, the mid round as an A player can be super boring, but it's also super important to play this correctly, or your team will get absolutely destroyed. One of the most common mistakes I see from A site players is after throwing this early util, they'll just go straight and play back behind site, play heaven, or even play headshot. This is really bad because you do not know when the Ts are in A main, and you won't know when to call your mid player over to support you. Instead of falling back, what you can do is you can jump right up here onto this platform here, and then make a little pixel gap between the pillar and this doorway here, and then you can aim right here with your smoke. And when the Ts come across this pixel, you can left click a smoke, and the smoke will land right in the middle of the doorway. And if they continue to push through, you'll have a really easy fight onto them pushing through. Otherwise, you'll just know that they're there and you'll know when to fall off and call your mid player over to help you. After the smoke has been up for a little bit, usually around 10 seconds, you want to kind of fall off this platform and come play towards site or a safer angle like headshot or heaven. The reason for this is because you know the Ts are in A main, and after the smoke, it's really likely that they will pop out onto you, and playing up here is a really tough angle. You can stay up here though if you want to wait for your mid player to throw some support flashes, which I'll show you right here. So as a mid player, you'll have your Awper typically come and support the A player. He can come right here against this pillar, right in the center of this. Aim right here, and then just left click throw a flash. That's going to land right in front of the pillar and won't blind your teammate behind it, and it'll full blind any T's inside of A main. If you're just not sticking around pillar or you don't trust your mid player, just fall back towards site or try to play in more of a retake position if you have the player advantage. Generally, for the mid round, you kind of want to just hold on to this control for as long as possible. As long as you know that the T's aren't in A main, you're safe to stay on pillar. You want to hold on to this control. Once they get into A main, you can call that to your teammates and you can send a support player from mid to come help you out. Now we can move on to the late round. This is where your mid support is going to be really effective, and typically you'll see your two mid players kind of fall out of mid, one of them going towards B and then one of them coming to support you towards A. Usually the mid player who's going to come support you towards A is going to be the Awper, so you want to put them on an angle kind of like this, holding towards camera, and then you can stay on pillar actually, and then just play the info in A main. Once you guys start to get split on though, you do want to choose one of these angles to commit to and fight, and just try to take as much space towards side as you can and kill as many players coming from there. Again, I only recommend staying there if you know your teammate and it's one of your friends or something, so you guys can play off each other. If not, I do highly recommend falling back towards site in the late round, just because it can be a more effective angle to solo hold. From the center of site, if you know they're coming out A main and you do have a flash, you can aim kind of roughly at the right side of this brick here, left click throw a flash, that's going to come over site and full blind anybody playing A main. It will be really easy for them to see coming out. You see it's got all that travel time. So be careful, they may turn from it, but if they turn from it, you can still peek out and get a nice fight on them turned away. If you're not confident in holding the A site late into the round, you either don't have any util or you're just a little bit afraid of them, you can completely fall back and play retake. Especially if you have the player advantage, I highly recommend just playing retake and then letting your teammates come over and you guys just retake the site together, because A is a super easy site to retake. Really quick, before the end of the video, I'm going to go over some alternative options you have if you like to op on A site. So if you do like to op, you can come over here in the early round, jump up on this table, and hold a nice angle towards A main. You'll see NETs crossing and it'll be a really hard angle for them to pre-aim. Other than that, kind of in the late round, you can play up towards heaven, just hold towards A main, or play any passive angle, and you'll get a lot of free kills onto them walking out onto you. Those are the basics of how to play A site Anubis, and hopefully they'll get you off to a strong start. If you do like this type of content, make sure to subscribe and like the video so I know to keep making similar stuff to this. If you have any recommendations or any guides you'd like to see, make sure to comment down below because I always check the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.